Hey there, everybody. It's John Cougar Hunter, Method Camp. On my way back to Method Camp Manor. Just left that woods. That was a scary night last night. You know, between not having my PBR, which I should have taken that as an omen. You know, right then and there, I probably should have just turned around and went home. But you know, that little secret spot I've got out there in the woods that Cougar showed me, you know, a couple weeks ago, that's like my Shangri-La now. You know, that's where I go to unwind and get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It's kind of become my Shangri-La. You know, it's a place where I can relax, I can find myself, I can get in touch with my inner self. And you know, there's nothing better than getting in touch with yourself. I love touching myself, and there's no better place to do it than out there in the woods alone. You know, I'll spend hours touching myself when I'm out there, and you know, I really needed that. You know, the honey hauler had been broke down for I don't know, a week and a half, and you know, just got her back, and I really needed that. You know, I needed to get away and not have to put that cream on Charlene's back for one night. So, you know, I should have taken it as an omen, though. You know, it's not right for me to be out there unprepared without my PBR. But I did it, you know, and I have to live with that mistake. I bought the Miller Lite, had that out-of-body experience. Thank God Meth Jagger, you know, brought me the Fireball and brought me back to reality, because I don't know what would have happened. You know, judging by the looks of that video, I might have broken a fingernail and cried myself to sleep last night. Yeah. So, and that can happen out there. That can happen in a heartbeat if you're not careful. You know, people don't understand that. And I learned this from the Survivor Man. You know, one of the worst accidents you can have when you're in a survival situation is a broken fingernail. Yeah, you know, you don't realize how bad that hurts. And you know, I see how bad Charlene is when she breaks her fingernails. So luckily, you know, I've never experienced that before. But judging by the way, you know, some of these cougars, whenever they break a fingernail, that's like life and death. So, you know, and that could have happened to me very easily last night drinking that Miller Lite without the Fireball. So thank God for that. Your prayers probably worked. So I'm out there, and I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Night of the Living Dead, and you got the zombies coming out of the woods. It was kind of like that, just with cougars. You know, they were walking. Oh, cougar hunter. I need cougar hunter. I mean, it didn't sound like that. That's just how I felt. You know, they were just coming from everywhere, and I felt like those people trapped in that house. You know, just trying to do the best that I can, because you know, it just happened to line up with my pollen cycle, and you know, there was a little bit of a breeze last night, so the cougars were just attracted from the pollen from my mullet, you know. So I got that going on, trying to please all them, and then on top of that, you know, I start hearing sounds out in the woods that, you know, I'm 99.96% sure was Bigfoot. So I go out and investigate. I start seeing all these Bigfoot signs and start hearing more noises. And, you know, like I said in that video, I was miles away from my camp. It took me hours to find my way back. And I get back to camp, I find the lid to my cooler open. Yeah. Apparently, Bigfoot likes Miller Lite. Who'd have thought that? You know, they're you know, this glorious creature. You would think they'd want a glorious beer, but apparently Apparently they're a little more sophisticated or something. I don't know. But I get back and somebody or something had drank like 8 of my Miller Lights. Yeah. You know, they got that twist off top, but you know, I'm sitting there investigating it, and I see that some of them, they're bent. So apparently Bigfoot doesn't know how twist tops work, and he must have used his teeth to pop the tops off. I don't know. But so I lost a bunch of beer, and I still got cougars showing up, you know. I mean, that's a given. That's to be expected. And I'm trying to please them. And the whole time we've got these hoots and hollers and tree knocks going on. And you know, this is all going on right outside my hammock. And you know, these cougars, they can't even concentrate because of all the excitement that's going on outside. And so, you know, it's taken, you know, twice as long for me to please them, and lines are starting to form, you know. Normally, you know, 3 minutes on a thunder thumb was all it takes, but there was one, it had to have taken at least 7 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I was doing everything I could, but Bigfoot was blocking me, you know. He was keeping me from performing my duties correctly. And, you know, so finally, I think the bar's closed, and I got that one last rush around 3 o'clock with all the cougars coming out. And then they you know, went back home to their husbands, and it was just me and the Bigfoot out there. So, you know, less people out there. These Sasquatch, they started getting a little more bold, and they started coming in closer, and I had to pull out my meat sword. Yeah, you know, I started waving my meat sword around, and I think they got the hint, you know. I think some of the female Bigfoot, you know, they were a little more intrigued by my meat sword, but the males, you know, I think they were intimidated by the size of it. Yeah, you know, they've probably never seen a meat sword that big before. So, you know, but it calmed down, and I still stayed up all night though. I did, because I was afraid. I was afraid one of them Bigfoot would come in and try to steal my meat sword. You know, I've already had that encounter with that female Bigfoot, and you know, I don't want to go through something like that again. You know, I'd rather it be on my terms. And you know, it also could have been that area that forest is in. There's not a lot of water sources, so maybe they were using that as a supplement for their water intake. I just thought of that. That's probably what it was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this some more. I'll talk to you later. Gotta go.